Hello and welcome to the North Bank podcast. I'm your host, Holly, and I'm joined by Stef. Hi, Stef.
Good evening, Holly. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm very, very good.
Okay, so this could go on quite a while. This show is going to be about looking back at yesterday's North London derby, and maybe a couple of games prior to that. We'll talk about kind of current form, current trajectory, perhaps with us and maybe with Man City, and then in a few days on Thursday we'll record a show that will look forward or ahead to Chelsea and what comes after that. So let's take a moment and remind ourselves that we beat Spurs 4-1
Again.
I should actually start this by thanking Spurs for two reasons. Number one, I thank them very, very deeply for taking 5 points off Manchester City this season, whilst also rolling over for us twice, so we win 4-1. So if we don't win the league this season, it has got sod all to do with Spurs. And that's one little kind of monkey off our back, perhaps. Anyway, so look, you were at the game. How are you feeling 24 hours after the fact?
Incredibly tired.
Emotionally drained.
Slightly emotionally drained. I mean, add in a fairly hectic day at work and an evening of further sort of planning and marking. That doesn't always help. You kind of settle into it, whilst also constantly aware that the phone is going off. Oh, look, there's a new meme. Just when you think there wasn't a new meme going around, someone's made a new one, and here you go. I have to look at it, obviously. Yeah, really good. It is exhausting. It is an emotional game when it's at Tottenham, and especially going away. But boy, when it's that good, it's like nothing else.
Yeah, I said. I was
just going to say sorry, because we're talking about Carabao Cup final tickets, because that's sort of in people's minds at the moment, and this, that, and the other as well. And I missed out on the original ballot and things like that as well. And I'm talking to a few people yesterday. It's like, but actually, like, it's fine. Don't get me wrong. I really want to be there, but I was there yesterday. And so the privilege and the joy and the appreciation that comes with that, yeah, it can't be beat.
I did say in the instant reaction yesterday that after your Wolves and Brentford, did you go to Brentford game?
I didn't go to Brentford.
Right,
yeah,
okay. But after your Wolves in particular,
Wolves especially,
I didn't envy you there at all. I did yesterday. I thought, yeah, that's
pay my dues.
The last North London derby I went to at Tottenham was in 2000.
Right. Wow.
So, and I won't go back for personal health reasons.
I don't know why I keep going back, but at the moment, in their shiny new toilet bowl that they've built, it's a pretty decent record, to be honest.
Keep going back.
So I'll keep going, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, indeed. The match stats, obviously the important one, we won 4-1. They had 6 shots, we had 20 shots. They had 5 of those 6 on target, 7 of ours were on target. 7 of our shots were from outside the box, which is good. Their XG was 0.76, ours was 1.93. So there's other stats like the first half touches in the opposition penalty box, just insane.
I love that.
Stats, like, and it kind of fed into maybe how we were all feeling at half time. But before we get on to that, I just want to have a look at the starting 11 and the key takeouts from the starting 11. Ben White was injured, and I wonder would he have started had he been available. But Timber started, and there's been a lot of praise for Timber today for his performance, offensively certainly. But defensively, I thought he was a little bit suspect again. Gave the ball away in the first half, conceded a yellow card off the back of it, and then he was substituted in the early part of the second half. But so I wonder would White have started, but he was injured. He wasn't even on the bench. Ødegaard was on the bench, but Eze started probably off the back of his hat-trick in the return fixture, the first fixture rather, in, was it October or November? I can't remember.
November, I think.
And then Saka came in on the right. Trossard flanked Gyokeres on the left. How were you feeling about that particular selection prior to kickoff?
Good. because everything that particularly you had said about the front line against Wolves, that team had guile. Yeah. That was the word Lewis Ambrose from Arsblog used, wasn't it? But in terms of playmakers, Saka, Eze, Trossard, who are no strangers to scoring goals themselves, but then, trying to feed Gyokeres, who, you cannot fault the effort that guy makes. I think I certainly came to a point yesterday because, I saw your guys' instant reaction as well, and I thought it was one of his great games for Arsenal so far as well. But in my head, I am starting to reckon I'm expecting him to be the kind of footballer that he's just not. And so what I need to appreciate is what he does do well. And I mean, his effort is second to none, and his focus is great.
I heard someone today, I don't know whether they're speaking yesterday or today, I don't know. They compared him to, can you think of a Premier League all-time great striker that he could be compared to? His
style-wise,
yeah, I've got, and as soon as they said it, I went, "Oh my God, they're right."
Is he a bit Shearer?
Yeah, Alan Shearer. Now okay. I know the goal tally. I'm not saying for a second he's going to emulate Alan Shearer's goal scoring record, but if you think of that actual kind of brute force, the way he took his 2 goals yesterday, especially the first one, was very Shearer-esque. Touch, bang, clean strike, clean connection. Like, if you take a still of the point of contact, Gyokeres' boot on the ball, and Vicario's position in the goal, if you take a freeze frame of that, you're thinking, how the hell has Vicario not saved that shot? He's over that side of the goal, but it's past him before he can react. It's just lethal. And it's a typical Shearer strike, that was. So I thought that comparison was really good. Yeah, sorry, go on.
It's interesting given that he's a proper number 9, because if you're starting to think about those other players on the list, Rooney had a touch of that about him, I suppose, as well. But then other out-and-out number 9s, Kane, is kind of similar. I wouldn't say he was as aggressive.
He's got more finesse to his game, Kane.
A bit more finesse to his game. I think he's a better footballer than I certainly give him credit for. And then others, I mean, people like Owen, Fowler were much more about using their pace against the opposition. So yeah, probably. I mean, Henry, he's not an out-and-out number 9. He started out as a winger and just became this, absolute goal machine. So yeah, it's an interesting one. But he did play pretty well, and I think just steering the narrative in that way and taking the game to Tottenham the way he did was great. But in terms of the lineup, just so much more guile and presence. I got slightly frustrated with Saka at times during the game, and he certainly had a couple of chances where he could have got on the score sheet. But in watching the highlights again, I realised, and it's funny that you mentioned Timber, because he was another one that really frustrated me throughout the game. But I did see other analysis from other people who are far more learned than I am, who talked about that link up, Eze sort of linking up with Saka and Timber, and the interplay that they had just forced Tottenham back. I did feel like sometimes they could have been a bit quicker in the final action, whether you could sped up getting the cross in or making that final ball, fine. But that's me watching it in the stands, full of tension, full of nerves and like just adrenaline kind of running and wanting everything to happen all at once. But actually, in watching the highlights again, it was a really, really good play.
Okay, I was just asking about the starting lineup. You've jumping into all the other sections now.
Sorry.
Because I want to go into the first half performance, which was mental, because it was a marked improvement on Wolves and Brentford. No question about that. There was a lack of ruthlessness in the penalty box, but we were creating chance after chance, and that touches in the opposition penalty box is mental. In the first half, Spurs had 1 touch in our penalty box and got the goal. We had 29 touches in their box, also resulting in just the 1 goal. But for me, the first half, as much about that, and I was borrowing a criticism, like, we'll rue these missed chances, like, completely. But at the same time, I wasn't that convinced about our defence, because at different points, Timber, Saliba and Gabriel all were a little bit jittery. They misplaced passes. I mean, Timber got his yellow card off the back. Saliba didn't have as much control. And Gabriel was like, at one point, he turned around and just went like the arms in the air, like get the crowd up. But he was nowhere near the Arsenal fans. It was like, what, mate, like calm down.
Yeah. This
is okay. We're doing well. Let's just keep don't do anything stupid. And then, of course, there's the Rice, keep your heads. And then, I mean, like, Rice made 2 mistakes in the game, but I thought he was superb. His defensive play, his midfield, he was just a real powerhouse in midfield. His first mistake obviously resulted in the goal, which Saliba could have done better with his defensive action as well. And then Raya bailed him out of the second mistake. But not looking at the second half. In the first half, how did you feel? The opening 7 minutes of the game, by the way, we had 84% possession and had 3 attempts at goal. That was exactly what we wanted. I mean, obviously one of those could have, nestled in the back of the net, would have been perfect. But how was it in the ground? This is me watching it. My daughter asked me at the start of the game, just before the game kicked off, are you feeling nervous? And I said, a little bit, but not really. Very similar to how I felt against Wolves. We're the better, and I must say this about Spurs: if we or any team was suffering the level of injuries that they've suffered, we'd all be struggling. Yeah. I mean, 13 first-team players, but like 9, 10 of them would be first 11 players. Yeah. So I have to, that's what fueled my confidence, I guess. Yeah. We are by far the better team. We just need to demonstrate that. And that was a very good opening 7 minutes. And then we had the missed chances. But I'm really curious, how was it in the ground watching this unfold? Just the first half.
Well, I'll give you a sort of my feeling about the day and the build-up, because I'm trying not to let hindsight sort of colour it. But when I met up with friends in the Arsenal Cafe on Blackstock Road for some food, and before we then went to the pub and had a drink, we were quietly confident, but off the back of Wolves, that doubt is just there. The fear is there that this team could stumble and not show up. And when you're going in to play your local rivals for those bragging rights and all those things, that it was a bit of a concern. So there wasn't the kind of swagger and the cockiness amongst us to really take it. It was like, okay, well, we don't quite know how this is going to play out. So you are a touch more subdued. I got the vibe, because I hate that walk from Seven Sisters Station down to the ground.
Don't do it anymore.
It is the worst. I know of all the grounds, you'd think being our nearest rivals, it would be the easiest one. I walk far more steps doing Tottenham away than I do going to any of the other grounds, like up and down the country. It's ridiculous the miles we have to do for that. But walking down the Seven Sisters Road towards the ground, I think I got a similar vibe from Spurs, because on the one hand, you've just seen Arsenal turn in that 45 minutes against Wolves, so you're thinking, okay, right, it could take advantage. But then you're looking at your own house and thinking, hang on, we're 16th here, and we've got injuries up to your eyeballs. We've changed the manager. The vibes aren't great. Like, what? They're probably feeling exactly the same, in the sense that could be a good time to play them. We should be maybe a bit more confident, but we've got lots of other reasons not to be. There was just this edge taken off things as everyone was trying to... It's like playing poker, keeping your cards close to your chest. You don't want to show your hand too soon, because, you could sort of let yourself down and be made a fool of. So there was certainly that sort of edge to it. The thing that made me laugh the most was the stadium announcer at Spurs.
I heard about this, yeah.
He's look, I know I'm wearing an Arsenal badge. I am biased. He is a proper Wally. Like, there's a distinct, I don't know, there's something of the local football club and working men's club about him. He doesn't scream Premier League professionalism to me. That's all I'll say on that. But anyway, he did this thing about like, they're nervous, they're scared, we're calm, let's take it to them. And boy, did it not really turn out like that. Because like you say, first 5 minutes, it's like, hang on, there's only one team getting them on the ball here. And maybe it's because of the players that they're having to play through injuries, but it is a meek Tottenham team, really meek. And, the Tottenham fans that I know that are very reasonable to speak to said they weren't really expecting much, but maybe some kind of reaction because of the new manager and just something. And maybe in spells, but
they were
really
banking on us having a wobble.
That's probably exactly right. It was more about, were we going to do it to ourselves? I mean, if I keep seeing that meme where it's the Arsenal bloke hitting the Arsenal bloke with an Arsenal pole anymore. But there is, if we were going to mess up, it was going to be our own doing. And so I cannot tell you the agony and ecstasy that were juxtaposed next to each other when we score and it's Eze and we're all going absolutely back-crap crazy because it's just hilarious, to 24 seconds later. I mean, it was just poison. Why are we doing this to ourselves? And Rice as well, after his gesticulation. It was tragic. I mean, I have my own views on Rice. Watching the highlights back, I'm not convinced about his game generally. I think he's being a bit too emotional. He needs to calm it down. Who was I? See, I think it was Jonathan Liu, who writes for The Guardian, who said, Declan Rice is best when you tell him he's not very good and he's trying to prove a point. Everyone's saying he's really good and he's almost like a bit casual about things. Oh, what was he doing?
Well, maybe that's good.
Yeah.
Maybe that's good then, because it wasn't costly ultimately.
Yeah, it was weird.
So, I mean, 34 seconds between the two goals. But what was your mood, or the general mood in the stands at half-time?
Fine. Just fine, though. No one really felt like the advantage. Everyone was sort of saying, like, we're on top here and we are dominant. So no one was, like, spitting their dummies out and losing their minds over it, because it felt like, we react in the second half, we score again, and they're probably not going to be able to do too much, because the likelihood of us making two stupid mistakes would be slim. Although Rice had a go at that in the second half as well.
One player making two mistakes. I mean, that was just a nod to Raya's reaction there. That was superb.
Do you know what? First I heard about it today when I spoke to someone at work. So I didn't even see anything. We travelled home, we stopped at the services, met up with some people, had some food, got home late last night, and I didn't go to sleep straight away because who could? Yeah. And then got up this morning, didn't see his save. Nothing about his save. I don't know how I avoided this until I was on duty at sort of break time and someone came over, everyone talking to me about the football today, obviously, and sort of said, and Raya's save. I was like, what save? What are you on about? Literally, because we're the other end of the pitch. So we had no idea. It
would have made it 3-2 with about 8 minutes to go. Yeah. So it was...
Well, I know the incident, but obviously we were quite low. I think we were about row 9. And it's kind of a raised pitch. So we're not far from pitch height. And just the other end, we saw the ball go across and a bit of a scramble and get out. And everyone's looking at each other going, I have no idea what's going on there. And I didn't even think Raya was involved. I thought he was bypassed and a player had just cleared it out. So when I saw it again today, I was like, whoa, that is
if you
unreal.
watch it in real time, it's ridiculous. I mean, slow motion, you're thinking, okay, fair enough. But in real time, his reactions were off the charts. Yeah. So you might point a finger at the goal, the Wolves equaliser, but...
Well, I mean, my view is that if he's calling for it, then the defender has to leave it. I was more concerned by his, I think, first half performance against Brentford. He really did have the jitters that night. But so... he's had an iffy spell, like the whole team has. But but
yesterday he was brilliant. He came for crosses. Everything he came for, he got. And he came for crosses that he probably had no business coming for. But just showed that he's like, no, this is my area. I'm dominating it.
He was fantastic.
So he was really good. And then Gyokeres scores 2 minutes into the second half. Now, that came after a Spurs chance down the other end, so it was a little bit end-to-end at that point. Timber played a lovely ball into him. Eze occupied Van der Ven, I think it was, and that left Gyokeres with a bit of space on the D. One touch, bang.
Bang.
I think twatted it would be the best description for that. Like, just absolutely, like, there you go.
It was so good.
Yeah. And that's in front of you guys, or just, almost just down your end, isn't it, at the ground? So there's that, and then Eze scores. I mean, Saka misses quite a few chances in the game, but I'm going to come back onto a few of the stats surrounding key players. There were two incidents in the second half that I want your kind of thoughts on. The first one we've already just talked about was the second Rice mistake and the Raya save. The other one is the disallowed goal. Now, I'm pretty confident I know how you're going to respond to that, but have you seen that incident again?
Yeah.
Right. So where do you stand on that?
Okay, so if I'm being perfectly honest, I don't care as long as the decisions are consistent, and they're not. They're not. So I've seen several videos doing the rounds. Came back to the Joel Linton push on, I think Gabriel,
yeah.
For the Newcastle one. A lot of people were talking about, I think, was it
Ekitike and Romero?
Player? Yeah, on Romero. And look, it's one of those, like, if you're going to give it one way, you've got to give them all, but they don't. We know these inconsistencies happen from game to game. I think trying to just rationalise the decision, I think it's a foul. I think Kolo Muani's not really jumping. It's not like he's trying to jump and play the ball. He's trying to get that advantage by moving Gabriel. Gabriel does what every single Premier League player would do in terms of just exaggerating the contact and going down. But had that push not occurred, he heads the ball. So an advantage has been gained by the Spurs player. For me, it's a foul.
Yeah, I must admit, when I saw it again, I thought it was very soft. If the referee hadn't given it, it would not have been overturned.
Sure. No,
possibly. I mean, I don't know that, but
yeah.
I did think it was soft. I thought we'd got away with one there. Yeah, we'd have. I mean, we might have been complaining had it not been given, but I think.
And the referee was very decisive. It was very quick. The ball had barely hit the net, and he was like, "Nope, foul." So,
I mean, we can't ever say whether it would have been impactful for the ultimate score line. We were by far the better team, but a 2-2.
Well, game state. Oh, it changes it massively, doesn't it? Of course.
And Gary Neville gave Gyokeres the man of the match, and then Gyokeres scores. What some people I've heard some people say that they prefer Gyokeres' second goal to his first goal. I don't know. I prefer his first goal because it tells me that he's feeling confident. And he had a really good game as well. How was the away end for the Gyokeres second goal, the fourth goal of the game?
Just all of them. Every single goal was celebrated with the same explosion of ecstasy. I suppose that fourth goal, what it meant was you could properly relax into enjoying it because you knew that like even with two goals at 3-1, everyone was, yeah, okay, we've still got to see what happens here. So it was just glorious, and I can see highlight reels. That first goal is the more spectacular, like that, and I like the fact that he took it quickly and hit it so hard. It's good. I certainly want to see him score more of those second goals that he scored, holding off defenders, getting the finish away. That should be his bread and butter more. He won't get that time like he did for the first one from game to game, the way Tottenham gave him it. So, yeah, he's got to make that second one a bit more of a common occurrence. But it was great. The number of grown men I've seen doing the Gyokeres celebration, and the number of grown men getting it wrong. I saw a brilliant analysis. So there's a still of Gyokeres doing it in front of the away end, and there's a guy literally just going through the photo going, now you see what he's got wrong here with the Gyokeres celebration, because there's a guy doing that over his hands as well, and there's another guy, he's just covered his whole face. Someone's not really joined their hands together as well. I mean, it's maybe just the timing of the photo, but obviously everyone's having a lot of fun with it. And like you say, I think it was a reward for his good play. I can fall into the trap of judging him. And as we've said earlier in the season, he will be judged on goals ultimately. So if he doesn't score in a game, he's got to be doing a lot more. But actually, I think you take those goals away, and yesterday he had a good game. His hold-up play, I thought, was excellent. He battled well. Sometimes I wish he wouldn't try and tussle with the defenders as much, and maybe just run that channel and try and pick up the ball. But he was quality.
Do you want some stats for him?
Let's do it. Compared to the other strikers.
Well, he's only 4 strikers in the Premier League who've scored more goals than him this season.
Yeah.
Not this year, this season.
Wow.
Who were they? Pedro,
Haaland,
Chelsea,
Thiago.
Thiago, Haaland and Semenyo are the 4 players who've scored more than him. So he's got 15 goals and 2 assists, 10 Premier League goals. He scored more than any other player in 2026. And this is a nice one. He's now scored the most goals in a debut season for Arsenal since 17-18 and Lacazette got 17. And so he's got quite a few games to go to beat that. I don't know who the player is next in line for debut season goals. So I said 20 goals would be a decent return. 20 goals now would be disappointing because it means he's only getting 5 goals in the remaining games of the season. I think he should be setting his sights on 25 now. 10 goals in the remaining games of the season, well within his grasp. In terms of yesterday's game, he had 4 shots. That's the most he's had in a game since September. Most passes he's completed in a Premier League game, 27, and he completed.
Just the one. When he did the little cushion ball,
yeah,
so
it was brilliant.
Saka could take it.
That was the third goal. That was the third goal.
Yeah, that was good. Really enjoyed that.
He completed 18 of his 27 passes. His average for the season of completed passes is 7.5.
Wow.
So he's way above there. He had 41 touches in the game. His Premier League average is 24.9. So he did excel himself. And I think he was running the channels more. He had that chance, very similar. I mean, I got out of my seat for when he cut inside and shot with the right foot and he put some power in. I thought, there's a bit of intent. That's good. I like that. That's in the first 5 or 6 minutes. That's more than we've seen from him in the last 2 games combined. So I was encouraged by that. Should we do our... I've got loads more stats and observations to make, but should we do our 5 takeaways?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so who was... I'm just getting Chris's up on the screen. Okay, who was your man of the match?
Gyokeres, for all the reasons we've just said.
Chris also says Gyokeres. He says easily best game in an Arsenal shirt. All-round game, not just his 2 superb finishes. So that's Gyokeres. I've also said Gyokeres. So we've got a full house on that. Who were you most impressed by?
Eze. I just thought his confidence that he took into the game, and he was his sort of Crystal Palace mercurial best. And just the narrative, it's great. 5.
I mean, the fact that his first goal yesterday was his first shot on target since the North London derby in November. I mean, that's damning with faint praise, somewhat. Yeah. And we're not going to look ahead, but there was an interesting kind of revelation by Arteta, I guess, that Eze expressed his dissatisfaction to him that he didn't start against Wolves after having played that well, and that's quite good that he did that, and then that he started him against, and I've said before, Eze needs a run of games to build this momentum, and if he doesn't deliver, then we've got other players that can step in, but he needs to get this opportunity. Now, we'll look ahead to Chelsea, and people are suggesting he plays wide on the left and plays to Trossard and let Ødegaard come in, but I don't, the guy used the word guile, but the link up, he was so much closer to Gyokeres yesterday, and that's what we need.
Yeah.
And he's the connection with Saka. Saka was coming in field quite a bit. Yes, you got Timber there as well, but Trossard on the other side, and Gyokeres was leaving his centre backs and making these runs a lot more evidently yesterday.
And just on the players under the radar, Ødegaard assist off the bench. Yeah.
I didn't write this down. I don't think I wrote this down, but I read it. Only 4 players have got more assists in the Premier League this season than Ødegaard.
And with all his injuries.
And he's played a fraction of their minutes.
Oh, absolutely. It's really starting to bother me. I don't know why I said it like that. It's really starting to bother me the way a lot of Arsenal fans are using him. It's like Arsenal fans have to have one player that they're always digging out for some reason or whatever. And sometimes it's perfectly justified. Sometimes it is an Emmanuel Abue, okay? But for Odegaard to be the guy at the moment, an injury hit season off the back of another injury hit season, it's understandable that perhaps there are games where his form does waver, and his role in the side might be evolving and changing, and he's now got massive amounts of competition. I get that, but he's still quality. You know, it's still intense press, still assists. Like you say, only so many people have got more in the Premier League this season. He's a quality footballer, and I just think getting on his back is not going to help anyone. So support him when he's on and when he's good. Yeah,
I mean, we have said in this parish that Odegaard's form is not great, so we have not been
sure, but there's ways of doing it. I think some people are being far too vociferous and coarse with it, rather than just talking about how there might be a reason why some of his form has dipped as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, he has had 3 injuries this season.
Well, like you, I think one of the aspects of his game that he could evolve is that not having to go hunting for the ball as much. You know, it's fine. He doesn't need to go into that quarterback role. Stay near Gyokeres.
Yeah.
And he fed him yesterday for that last goal brilliantly.
Yeah, no, it was great to see that link up as well between those two. Right. So you were impressed with Eze. Chris is impressed by Raya. Some brilliant raking passes and a superb save off the line. Also, he came for a lot of crosses and he was very dominant and commanding in his area. I've actually written down Hincapié.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was superb, and he really did build on his performance against Wolves. He's one of the few players that came out with credit from the Wolves game, got his first goal for the club. But certainly in an attacking sense, which has not typically been the area that we've looked to him for, that's more Calafiori. But I thought yesterday he was superb. Like his forward, but how did he come across in the
Oh yeah, fantastically. So much. I mean, his song just does the rounds now on a regular basis. Like the fans love him in the stands. He's great, and he does that thing of he is showing a bit more silk now and looking to go forward. And apparently that is something that he did for Leverkusen during their sort of invincible season. But we also love the fact that he's got that steel. You know, that classic sort of stereotypical South American bite in his play as well, which we really like.
He's bigger than I think he is as well. Yeah, like he can look after himself.
I mean, the option to buy looks like a no-brainer at the moment.
I think it is, but I don't think it's. Yeah, I know. I can't remember the wording. It's the same deal that we had with Raya. Yeah. I think don't think there's any danger that he's not going to come to us. The next category is the player that you could have done more. Did you pick anyone?
Well, I did, and I realised that I probably did this preparing for it yesterday. So my mind is.
You can change before you say anything.
Can I?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to then. I'm going to have to say Rice, because I just.
It's outrageous.
Take the emotion out of it. Silly mistakes, doing the things that you just don't expect him to. He's, I don't know. Whether it's like performative sort of leadership, like just focus on your decisions, win those little moments and those duels, and don't take any like unnecessary risks. Like, what are you doing? It was costly, but it could have been really costly. And
well, maybe it's a timely reminder to him. Like,
well, I hope so. Yeah, didn't blow me away.
Okay, Chris hasn't given me a player that could have done more. I've written down 2, and you're going to see one of them's pretty standard for me historically, and the other one you're going to think, what? So the first one would be Trossard. I wanted a bit more from Trossard in an attacking sense. I don't, out of the forward, the attacking players, the 4 attacking players, if you like, so Gyokeres, Eze and Saka, Trossard was the least of those 4. It's a bit churlish. It's a bit like having to come up with a player.
Yeah, he didn't have a bad game, did he?
But the other player, you're going to think it's even worse, is Saka. And it's only because of the...
Guess who I had written down originally?
Okay.
Saka.
Yeah, so it's only because of the standards that he set. He should have had at least one goal yesterday.
Yes.
He made the one... It was, was the second one in the first half as well. There's one in the first half that Nkapie put him through, and he should have buried it when Vicario came out. But there's another one, he much closer to goal on his right foot, and I thought at first that the defender made a really good effort to but no, he did it straight at the keeper.
Yep.
Like, he should have buried it. So that was it. I mean, he just on Saka, he had 5 shots, second most in a Premier League game this season for him. So, and again, if this is him finding his way back to form, great, because he was dangerous. He was a threat, a constant threat. But if I'm being really picky, I would have liked him to have taken one of those goals, one of those chances.
Absolutely.
That would be it. He didn't. I don't think he gets the assist either.
No, he doesn't. Apparently not.
Why?
That's ridiculous, isn't it? My thing is that I saw the game in a different way. Watching in the stands, there's like an emotional filter on, which means I just see the game differently. I'm expecting things to play out in a different way. I'm almost willing it, and that's colouring what I'm actually seeing. I'm not analytical at all when I'm watching the game. I'm far too emotional. So it's only watching it back yesterday. During the game, I'm watching it going, right, attacks are slowing down with Timber and Saka. Saka looks like he's strolling most of the time. I think I even messaged the group that at one point. I know, this is ridiculous. And I'm like, what is he doing? He's pulling back in tackles? Like, what is going on? Like, and that's me. That's not him. That's me getting far too fraught. What I didn't see was the reason the attacks were slowing down is because Timber and Saka were forcing their defence back into such a shape when it's like, well, then you've got to kind of work your way through. Like, it's absolutely fine. Saka is probably holding back in tackles because he didn't want to get bloody injured. And as for the strolling around, no, he's taking up space and opportunities. And like I say, his link-up play, Eza, Gyokeres, really, really good. So emotionally, I was like, God, just not need to do more. And then with my actual like brain in today, watching it back, he had a great game. It's fine. Yeah. But like you say, those chances, it's a shame that he could have finished one.
I would just have expected him to have taken at least one of those chances because that's what he does.
And he got his goal against Wolves, so you thought, okay, here we go. Yeah. Maybe, he could hit a run of form. That would be lovely to see, and it's such a shame he didn't.
But, two players who have underperformed, inverted commas, in Gyokeres and Eze stepped up. That's what we need. Gyokeres could be on this run that carries us over the line in X number of competitions. So this, and Saka could take up the mantle from Sunday against Chelsea, and on we go. Yeah. What's your positive takeaway then?
Directness in our play. Raya was going back to front when he needed to. We didn't overplay at the back, apart from the odd occasion when we did. So I like the directness. I like the fact that players were taking risky passes. There was one just down the channel that we looked at. Eza, I think it was, picked up the ball in midfield, and it was just one touch, look up, bang, and then the ball just bended round Gyokeres, who ran on. I don't think it came to much. Him and the defenders tussled and fell, but there was just this speed with which we were trying to play through the lines, which I thought was really good. And
is that because Eze's on the pitch and not Ødegaard?
Maybe. I mean, absolutely could be. But that they do play a different game. It's fine. But I think others were doing that as well. I think Trossard was trying to be positive. I'm not sure a huge amount came off for him yesterday, as he sort of alluded to. But yeah, the directness, the willingness to keep going. And I think Chris has mentioned it in his as well. We weren't just content at 2-1. And we kept going for that third and fourth. Yeah,
that's his positive takeaways, our general positivity and not letting the tempo and aggression drop after going back into the lead. Just want to say on the Saka injury, Saka did come off injured. It was his ankle did kind of buckle under a challenge, and he did come back. He walked off. I don't know, at the end of the game, was he coming over to the fans?
Oh, yeah, they all did.
Right. So someone tweeted today, some big Arsenal account tweeted today that Saka's had his scans, fingers crossed. And Hand of Arsenal retweeted that, saying, Saka hasn't had any scans. He's there's nothing to worry about. This person shouldn't be. I think he was saying, be careful who you believe or something like that. So I step down, panic over kind of thing.
Well, Hand of Arsenal's got a bit more of a
I'm going with what Hand of Arsenal says over, and this other guy's a big account as well, and an Arsenal fan. But yeah, thank you, Hand of Arsenal. My positive takeaway is we didn't sit back, so it's the same. Like that was it. It's like we just kept going. Your negative takeaway?
Rice again, but only in the sense that, again, we were aware of it a bit, but certainly after the game, seeing the clips of, he's trying to calm everyone down, switch on and do all that kind of thing. And he's kind of made himself look a bit of a Burke, which he seemed to be laughing about as he sort of walked back to restart the game. But again, it just switches in. Because on the one hand, there has been this annoying pattern where we've scored and then almost immediately conceded. There's been the odd occasion where that's happened, and we do leave ourselves vulnerable and we don't concentrate. But if you're going to be the guy that's waving the arms and really getting onto people, well, then you've got to lead by example. And it's just a bit embarrassing. I didn't like it. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Chris's negative takeaway was, where was this against Brentford and Wolves? And my negative takeaway was just the hint of the jitters in the first half. It was just, I was a little bit okay. Thankfully, we sorted ourselves out in the attacking sense, and it didn't matter. But because we did, concede. Rice did nearly cause a second concession. They did score a goal that was softly, in my opinion, ruled out for the shove in the back. So there are a couple of incidents that could have resulted in a different game playing out.
And I could put an asterisk negative there, which is if they don't do it again or similar against Chelsea, because it's however many cup finals we've got left now. Is it 10?
10. Well, 10 plus an actual cup final.
Nice.
So, I've done Gyokeres' stats. All right. Okay. Us and City last 9 games, we've both got 16 points. Albino keeps tweeting, on New Year's Eve we were 5 points clear of City. City had a game in hand.
Same again. Here
we are, 2 months later, same set of thing.
The more things change.
Yep.
Wow.
10 games to go. Scoreboard pressure could be better, but still, because of that result yesterday, Man City will go to Leeds on Saturday evening feeling they have to win.
Yes.
And that can do funny things to them. I'm not saying they won't turn up there and win, but we've got 3 league games until the cup final. Need to win those. Then it's 2 further games till the Etihad.
Just while you're on Man City, can I just let everyone know that Bernardo Silva is a little rat who gets away with absolute murder? That shove on Dan Burn that it wasn't carded. I mean, come on, that was tragic. I hate that guy.
Yeah, don't get me started on him. I can't stand him. I've gone through all those players. Right, okay, other little kind of stats or observations and takeaways. Arteta himself, his record in London derbies. He now has the highest win rate of any manager to coach 20-plus Premier League London derbies. He's got 42 wins from 69 London derbies, a win rate of 61%. In second place is Mourinho, 42 wins from 70 games, that's a 60%, so he's just nudged ahead of Mourinho. In third place, on 55%, is Arsene Wenger, 106 wins from 194 games. So, I mean, there's a bigger... I don't know, does that help your stats or diminish your stats if you've got more to play for? So goals against Spurs in the Premier League. Eze's now got 5 from 2 games, and he's in third place. He's joint third with Henry, who's got 5 from 10 games, and some other player who I won't talk about. Who's above him? Who's above him in the Premier League? Do you know this? Who scored more goals for Arsenal in the Premier League against Spurs than Eze?
Above. Who liked a goal against Tottenham for Arsenal? Right, he won't have played too many. Pires?
Yeah, Pires is the top. 7 goals from 11 games.
Okay, yeah.
Henry's got 5 from 10, so he's on the same level as Eze.
Is there any more?
But yeah, there's one. Second. This player's got 6 goals from 7 games against Spurs.
7 games against Spurs?
Yeah, we don't really like him.
Well, not RV.
Not him. We don't talk about him.
Yeah, sure. We don't really like Adebayor.
No, yes, Adebayor.
Yeah.
He, which made that whole thing funny. It's completely unrelated to the Spurs game, but it's now impossible for Arsenal to suffer any suspensions because of yellow card accrual.
Really?
Yeah, so I just thought that was quite an interesting little stat. So we can no longer we can suffer suspensions if a player gets sent off, obviously, but no more. Whatever number of games left, and when it goes to 15 yellow cards, I don't know when it is.
Wow.
And the last thing I've got is I've got 2 more things. Arsenal have scored 27.6 of our open play goals against Spurs.
I did see that. That's great, isn't it? Over a quarter of our goals in open play against Spurs.
And I want to mention Igor Tudor and his post-match comments.
The latest to get a silver membership at Arsenal.
He is, isn't he? Arsenal are probably the best team in the world right now. Did he not get the memo from Thomas Frank?
I just want to big up. There's a lad called Sam who I only know from like social media, but he's friendly with the Guns and Yellow Ribbons lot. He had some kind of like blow up Thomas
I saw
Frank,
that. Yeah.
Because he was just a few rows in front of us, and obviously that just kept everyone singing that Thomas Frank is a silver member the whole time. It was very entertaining.
I've got Chris's final observations. Sorry, I missed those. They obviously got themselves up for this because it was the North London derby and they knew we needed a reaction to the 2 disappointing draws. Question remains, is Mikel's micromanaging on the training ground translating into the yips on the pitch in some games? Easy to say, but the Spurs game should be some kind of template in how to keep pressing at 2-1, even 3-1 up. What we have, we hold, doesn't always work.
No.
I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
No, just that it was delightful scenes at the end. The players coming over, apparently over celebrating, according to one Christopher
Chris
Sutton.
Yes,
yeah. Absolutely. But you show me a side that stuffs their local rivals 4-1 and doesn't celebrate.
Having just been told they've lost the title.
That, absolutely. So that was great. There was even an attempt to recreate. Remember when Martinelli threw the scarf on the spider?
Oh yeah,
camera?
I saw Saliba trying to do that.
They were trying to do it and kept missing. It was a bit disappointing, but no, it was all good. It was good. There was a hint of relief in there. We know where we were after the Wolves game, and there was a lot of despondency. But again, I think it all comes from a place of love because we do know how good this team can be. But there's just occasions when they don't show it. Well, for large parts of yesterday's game, they showed it, and boy, were they good.
And it's up to Arteta to allow them to demonstrate that in every game between now and the end of the season. We have the players, let the handbrake off, so to speak. And not get too emotional about it. I think that's true. Certainly for Rice, as you've alluded to, but also Gabriel at the back was like, just calm down.
A little bit. Yeah.
It's okay. We're the best team here. Right, brilliant. So we've got a week off. No Arsenal football midweek, which is great. We've got Chelsea at home on Sunday, 4:30 kickoff, I think. And then we've got Brighton away, and then Everton at home. Then it might be the FA Cup. I can't remember. Anyway, so we'll catch up again on Thursday and do a look ahead to the Chelsea game, and maybe we'll look ahead to a block of games and we'll look at the opponents that City have as well. But for now, we are 5 points clear. City have a game in hand, but we are 5 points clear. I'd rather be in our position than any other club's position in this Premier League. And that's good. Long may that continue. 10 more games, 10 more cup finals. Cheers for the chat. Cheers for watching. Cheers for listening. Have a great week wherever you are. Enjoy. Cheerio.
See ya.
The North Bank, an Arsenal podcast. Subscribe, rate and review on your app and find us on your socials at North Bank Pod. Email hello@thenorthbankafc.com and check out our website, thenorthbankafc.com. Produced by the Podcast Company.